Good morning, and welcome to everybody who's here. I welcome you all to Hope Unitarian Church, and it's wonderful to see everyone today. I'm the Reverend Justin McCreary, and I'm so excited you're here with us this morning. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I always like to say is that we're covenantal, not creedal. This means something very simple and can be summed up with words attributed by David Ferenc. You need not think alike to love alike. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Being rooted in love, we believe that all human beings should be treated with dignity and respect. On this hill, we seek hope, love, justice together in community. So whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey and whatever your life circumstances, you are welcome here today. I especially want to say that this is a special service today. It's our blending of the waters, which is the traditional beginning of the church year. And I'd especially like to thank you all here, or thank you for being here this morning on this special service. And at this time, I invite you to rise and embody your spirit as you feel so called, and we sing the hymn of gathering. And as we light the chalice this morning, we say these words together. You may be seated. Our invocation this morning comes from Shel Silverstein. If you are a dreamer, come in. If you're a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer, if you're a pretender, come, sit by the fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. And at this time, let's say our covenant together. Our first hymn this morning will be Peace Like a River, and I invite everyone to rise and embody your spirit as you feel so called to do and sing with us today. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. And I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. And like raindrops in my soul. I got tears like raindrops. I got tears like raindrops. I got tears like raindrops in my soul. And I've got strength like the mountains. I've got strength like the mountains. I've got strength like the mountains in my soul. I've got strength like the mountains. I've got strength like the mountains. I've got strength like the mountains in my soul. Thank you, and you may be seated.
Good morning. My name is James Donovan. I have a few announcements for you. Thanks to those of you who parked far away, who can manage to walk up the hill and stuff. I appreciate that. If you want to find out what's going on here at Hope, you need to sign up to get our weekly highlights newsletter and our monthly focus newsletter. Just send a message to HopeUU at hopeuu.org. Out there I have a sign-up sheet if you want to become an usher or a greeter or a key person. This Saturday, Reverend Justin, is going to start a series of classes called Advanced Introduction to Liberal and Liberation Theologies. September 14th it starts at 10 o'clock in the cabin, I believe, right? You're going to do it in your office. So there's that, and then we're going to have a children's and youth area cleanup coordinated by Vanessa over here. That's September 28th at 10. You can send her a message at vshome@live.com. On Thursday, local author Hannibal Johnson, I know that some of you know and have read his work. He's got a new book out. He's going to be speaking at our friendly church down the street, Fellowship Lutheran Church, 67th and Sheridan. His new book is called 10 Ways We Can Advance Social Justice Without Destroying Each Other. Thanks to those of you who brought art supplies for Youth at Heart. If you'd like to help with Feed the Homeless, helping prepare and serve a meal for the Day Center for the Homeless next Saturday, there's a sign-up sheet out there, right, Anita? There's going to be, according to Anita. Also, sign up for Supper Club. There's going to be a sign-up sheet out there for Supper Club. Remember to stick around after the service because our friend Robert is going to Robert's this guy who looks like he's a model in an AARP magazine ad. He's got his camera. He's ready to go. The problem is he's never in the photo. So anyway, stick around for that photo that we'll do after the service. And then finally, I want to tell you that our auction is coming up. This is the big fundraiser for the year, November 9th. It's going to be dinner. We're going to have music, right, Christy? We've hired Christy this time to be our musician. She comes really cheap. So start thinking about what you want to donate. If you are involved in any committee or program here at church, think about what your committee can get together and donate, and that includes, your board of trustees, any committee, any group. Let's all come up with something we can contribute as a group that will be auctioned off. We'll have our online auction during the first week of November, leading up to the live auction, which will be on the 9th. You'll get more information about tickets and that sort of thing. If you're involved in an organization, like an arts organization that has performances, get us some free tickets. If you can get some gift cards, get us some gift cards. If you want to host an event at your home, please let us know what you want to do. So November 9th, put that on your calendar. Make no other plans. Thanks.
This morning, I'd like to tell a story about a water bearer in India who had two large pots. One hung on each side of a pole that she put on her back. One of the pots had a crack in it. While the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the mistress's house, the cracked pot only delivered half full. I'm the cracked pot. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the water bearer delivering only 1 1/2 pot full of water to her master's house. The perfect pot was proud of its accomplishment, perfect to the end for which it was made, but the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was only able to accomplish half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day and said, "You know, I am ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you." "Why?" asked the water bearer. "What are you ashamed of?" "I have, in these last 2 years, only been able to deliver half the water that I'm supposed to deliver. Because of this crack, it leaks on the side, or it leaks throughout all the trip home, and you only get a certain amount into the mistress's house. Because of my flaws, you have to do all this work, and you don't get full value from your efforts," the pot said. The water bearer felt sorry for the pot, and in her compassion, she said, "As we return to the mistress's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path." Indeed, as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming the beautiful wild flowers on the side of the path. And it cheered it up some. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half of the load of water again. And so again, it apologized to the water bearer for its failure. The bearer said to me, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I have always known about the flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back from the stream, you've watered them. For 2 years, I've been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my mistress's table, and without you being just the way you are, she would not have been or had seen this kind of beauty in her house." So the moral of the story is, maybe it's not so bad to be a cracked pot. But as we go forward today, I invite you to think about all the ways that your crackedness has benefited the world around you.
Our reading today is from Mary Oliver. By the way, I think in the order of service, it says it's number 696 in our hymnal, and that's not correct. So you can't read along. The river of my childhood that tumbled down a passage of rocks and cutwork ferns came here and there to the swirl and the slow down of a pool, and I saw myself, oh, clearly, as I knelt at one. Then I saw myself as if carried away, as the river moved on. Where have I gone? Since then, I have looked and looked for myself, not sure who I am or where, or more importantly, why. It's okay. I have a wonderful life. Still I ponder where that other is, where I landed, what I thought, what I did, what small or even maybe meaningful deeds I might have accomplished, somewhere among strangers, coming to them as only a river can, touching every life it meets, that endlessly kind, that enduring.
In your order of service, it says Sermon, Blending of the Waters by Reverend Justin McCreary. Well, this is not really a sermon today, you'll be excited to hear. I'm going to begin by talking about the history of the Blending of the Waters service as a whole. And then what I'm going to end up doing is inviting you all forward to share your water. So when we get to the point before we start blending of the waters, I will explain the process. But before that, let's talk a little bit about the history of the mingling of the waters, or what some have called the water communion. In 1980, two Unitarian Universalist women, Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shook Longview, were asked to create a worship service for the Women in Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists. As they shaped the service, McDade and Longview wanted to create a new ritual that spoke to our connectedness to one another, to the totality of life, and to a place on this planet. They included a new inclusive symbol of women's spirituality: water. They write, "Water is more than simply a metaphor. It is elemental and primary, calling forth feelings of awe and reverence, acknowledging that the ocean is considered by many to be the place from which all life on our planets come. It is the womb of life, and that amniotic waters surrounded each of us prenatally. We now realize that this worship service was for us a new story of creation. We chose water as our symbol of our empowerment." In the years to follow the water communion, the blending of the waters would become a regular ceremony for many UU churches during the ingathering season. The water communion came to represent coming together from break and from travel. It came to represent the intermingling of community, and it came to represent new beginnings. In 2010, the UN recognized access to clean water as a human right. According to the World Health Organization and UNICEF, 1 in 4 people, that is 2 billion people around the world, lack safely managed drinking water. But this is not the issue that affects other countries, which became public knowledge in 2014 in Flint, Michigan, with what became known as the Flint water crisis and the pollution levels in the Flint River. But Flint is not the only city in our United States that struggles to deliver clean water to its constituents. My own Jackson, Mississippi requires regular boil water requirements, and after flooding over the last few years, has reached national disaster levels in the early 2020s. Water, though deemed a human right, has yet to become one. And as we gather together today, we give thanks for the water that we have and commit to the world where water is accessible to everyone. I'm going to read Blessed Water, Source of Life by Reverend Tracy Johnson. Blessed water, source of life, of which we are wondrously made, source of sustenance, quenching our inner thirst, source of refreshment, cooling our bodies, source of restoration in dry times, penetrating hardened surfaces, rejuvenated, cleansing. Blessed water, source of life, we see your power upon the earth. Watch with awe as it pours from the heavens, filling beyond capacity, raging over once trusted boundaries, rising up from the low places, filling lives not unlike our own with heartache, and yet we know it is with our source and all our blessings. Blessed water, source of life, we share our water today from home, from our favorite places, water that flows clear and cool from mountaintops, water that comes in rolling waves, caressing the shores and returning to the sea, water that rises in springs from deep beneath the earth's surface, water that falls gentle and warm or in sudden downpours from clouds and skies. Blessed water, source of life, we honor this collection of water today, not because of its individual sources, but because it is gathered here in this place, in this act of mingling our separate lives, our personal encounters with life-giving waters. We symbolize the coming together of this body or blessing and hope, this body of joy or commitment, and these waters are joined, so too we join. We offer our blessing upon this coming together of people in water, a blessing upon our intentions as we gather in celebration. Week to week, month to month, may our connections be as these drops of water gently held in the common space of our community home. May we find this place refreshment, rejuvenation, sustenance, cleansing, and restoration. As we begin the blending of the waters, I have simple instructions. I will first ask the choir to come forward while Christy begins to play, because once the choir finishes, they will sing a song. And what happens is, I'm going to begin by pouring this. This is from the blending of the waters last year and has maintained historic water throughout the years that we have done this service. Every year, this water is collected and boiled and cleaned a little and kept so that it can be the basis or the base water that begins the blending of the waters this year or for the coming year. If you did not have water that you brought forward today, we have this pitcher, and you may pour your own water. You may use this water as general water that you can pour yourself so that everybody can take place. And just instill it with all your hopes and dreams and your memories of good places. So at this time, as I invite Christy to begin playing, I invite the choir to come forward and blend their waters. Yes, would you like some help? No, I was going to invite you to come and pour some water. I'd like for just a moment, and I mean just a moment, you to share where your water, whether it is water that you empowered this water to be or water that you brought, came from. So please look to your neighbor and just tell them where the water came from or where you had hoped it would come from. So that sounds like enough time. I'm going to close this service with a simple blessing of the water. And as I bless the water, I say this. This is not a blessing from me. It's a blessing from all of us together. For as the waters mingle together, so we mingle together as a congregation. As we travel into this new year together, this new church year, we will mingle ourselves. We will mingle our hopes and our dreams. We will mingle our joys and our sorrows. We will get frustrated with one another. We will love one another. We will break bread together. We will do so many things. The true blessing of water is that water touches everything and it's a good reflection on how we can touch each other's lives. So I thank you for bringing your water, and I bless this water with the hope that we have coming in the next year. Our generosity recipient for the month of August is the League of Women Voters. If you've never been to this congregation before, or you're new here, what you may not know is that we pick a generosity recipient once a month. And that recipient gets special donations that people might write a check for and write generosity in the memo line or put cash in the baskets as they come through. And that money will go towards that organization. But also, it is a good time to make your pledge. It's a good time to donate to the church. And anything without generosity written on it will be assumed as your pledge or a donation to the congregation. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. We are ever bound in community. Our final hymn will be hymn number 1046, Shall We Gather at the River? And I invite you to rise and body your spirit as you feel so called. Shall we gather at the river, where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal turned forever, and by the throne of God. Yes, we gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. On the margin of the river, washing up its silver spray, we will walk and worship ever all the happy golden day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Ere we reach the shining river, lay we every burden down. Grace our spirit will deliver and provide a robe and crown. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Let's extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. And as the waters float by, as they float with us on them, as we float with us around them, be gentle with one another, show love and commitment and hope for all the things to come. Thank you. Bye.